Less than an hour ago, Milwaukee authorities said that they have positively identified 5 more victims. Now authorities believe the suspect, 31-year-old Jeffrey Dahmer, may be responsible for as many as 17 murders.
Police discovered a grisly collection of skulls, torsos, and other body parts in a refrigerator and a large drum inside Dahmer's apartment. Dahmer, who has a history of sexual convictions, appears in court today. At a bond hearing yesterday, police revealed the gruesome details, charging that Dahmer allegedly enticed men to his apartment, where he drugged, strangled, and then dismembered them, and finally boiled the flesh from their skulls.
I tried to create living zombies with uric acid in the drill.
One of those failed experiments to create a living zombie was conducted on this 14-year-old boy. Jeffrey had drilled a hole in his head and poured in acid, a crude attempt at lobotomy that none of his victims survived.
Jeffrey Dahmer was a man who committed heinous acts. He was a serial killer who killed 17 men in horrendous ways, and he dabbled in dismemberment, cannibalism, and he was also convicted of sexual assault. So he doesn't exactly sound like the most morally upstanding individual. Certainly not someone who should be admired and have cutesy little fan art drawn, but here we are, guys. Today, ladies, gents, and gamers, you're gonna want to cry. You're gonna want to die when you see what I have to present to you. As with anything on the internet, Jeffrey Dahmer has a following, and it is a very scary one. Before we get into the first few posts here, I need to say something because I feel like someone's gonna comment on it because you get comments about everything. Jeffrey Dahmer looks radically different between each photo you see of him. Like, this is Jeffrey Dahmer, but this is also Jeffrey Dahmer. This is Jeffrey Dahmer too. I can assure you that all these posts are referring to Jeffrey Dahmer, just letting you know in case the different looks were confusing and they look like different people. Anyway, without making this intro too long, since you've already been starving for a couple of months for content, let's get right into the first post. So let's start this off with a bang. Someone here made a Jeffrey Dahmer plushie. That's what this is. That's what you're looking at right here. Now, I know it may look like a questionable item that would be sold on a questionable shop for questionable purposes online, but let's read what this person wrote about it. This is my Jeffrey Dahmer plushie. He's kind of old, so he's getting all wrinkly and lumpy. His belly has a zipper, and in his belly is a human hand. I also keep money in there. But let's be real. Look at this. They're not just sticking money in there. They're sticking other things in there. Like, I don't want to get too deep into this. That was an accident. I don't want to talk about this too much, but the design is flawed. His face is really long and looks a little weird, but I love him anyways. I made his eyes on Photoshop, then used transfer paper. My grandma helped me with the sewing though, because I seriously fail at it. I'm scared of the sewing machine. But not Jeffrey Dahmer. This really messed up looking pattern is all mine though. Well, I didn't really use a pattern, I kind of just cut fabric out in the shape and size I thought it should be, and nothing on him is made out of felt. I hate the way it feels. He's 32 inches tall. He doesn't have pants because I'm lazy, but I don't mind. What the hell? So, the grandma, when she sewed this thing, did she know? Did she know what she was doing? I don't think she did. Probably not. And just what the anime eyes are kind of the icing on the cake at this point. Let's move on before I die. So people can make plushies, right? But people can also just make blogs dedicated to Dahmer. That's quite common in this video. Most of the posts here are taken from accounts that are dedicated to true crime or Jeffrey Dahmer. One of the interesting accounts I came across was someone who has a Tumblr blog dedicated to making Jeffrey Dahmer an Animal Crossing New Leaf. I can't make that up. That's what this person does. They've made Jeffrey Dahmer an Animal Crossing New Leaf, and they've tried to include very specific, true-to-life details within Animal Crossing. So here's the first one. It says Shrine of Little JD and 17 victims. Because, you know, when you have 17 victims, that should be preceded by Lil, like that's not a descriptor for him. That does not fit. Oh my god. And then the next one is Little Angel Wings for Jeff with a heart, because this man's definitely going to heaven, obviously. There's Dahmer Shrine 2.0, which is another disturbing post. And then there's just, you know, these two things. If we look at these images here, there are a few disturbing details that show that this person was trying to get it very, very accurate. So Jeffrey Dahmer had an apartment, and he obviously had dismembered parts located in the apartment, like the fridge. And this person here has included some skulls lying around and things in coffins, suggesting that his victims are still within the apartment. And I mean, that's not the weird thing about this. The weird thing is that they'd create Jeffrey Dahmer in Animal Crossing, but that aside, the weird thing about them recreating his apartment is not the fact that they have weird little Animal Crossing skulls around here. That's a given. The weird thing is that at least two things that I noticed is that they have a fish tank, because Jeffrey Dahmer had a fish tank, and he blamed the foul smell coming from his apartment on the fish once. He said that his fish died, and that's what caused this horrible dead body rancid smell coming from his apartment. They have some accuracy there, and then they also have this drum, which, if you don't know, was a drum of acid in which some body parts were found in the crime scene investigation process. So that's absolutely wonderful. This is seen as one of the most innocent video game series ever, and I don't get how you can take it to here. I don't get how you can go from Animal Crossing, let me shake some trees, to this. I don't know. The next one is also involving animals. Basically, someone made Jeffrey Dahmer with Littlest Pet Shops, and it also has some disturbing true-to-life details where he's picking someone up at a bar there, he's doing God knows what right there, and he's eating someone right there, and then also, in these posts, he's clearly taking photos, and what Dahmer did was he would take Polaroids of his victims, and I've seen a few of those online. They are very horrible to look at. Not really something to make light of. Nothing here is something to make light of, but these people are doing it. So some people may prefer to make an absolutely delicious and nutritious blog dedicated to Dahmer. Other people, they say, you know what, I hate being anonymous on the internet. Instead, I'm gonna get a lifelong tattoo of Jeffrey Dahmer. And you know what? What better place to get it than in the very concealed place that is your neck? This person got it in one of the most bold, dark fonts they could get, and it's right on their neck near their chin. You know, sometimes people have concerns when you get a tattoo that if it's a visible tattoo, some people may judge you for being unprofessional, and it may be harder to get some careers, especially if it's near your face or on your face. It kind of closes some doors because of how people in society judge those with very visible tattoos. This person's on a whole nother level. They're on a different planet. This is crazy. I don't know what kind of future they have, but it doesn't look very good. Here's a tattoo of Dahmer's mugshot on someone's inner upper arm. And I mean, that's also really hard to hide. Not as hard as like your upper neck, but it's still pretty hard to hide. Like, you can't just wear t-shirts at that point anymore. You have to wear long sleeve shirts, or else people will know that you were crazy enough to get Jeffrey Dahmer on your arm for life. Here's one where it says man eater, and for some reason he looks kind of like a pretty boy there, like the lips stick out a bit too much. The font is pretty atrocious. Like the E especially. The E also kind of looks like a B, but if you look at it a different way, it can look like an S, so it looks like man baiter. It's not exactly the most legible way you could write an E. If you're gonna be getting a tattoo of Jeffrey Dahmer, are you really thinking of the graphic design elements at that point? Like, I just don't think you're putting that much thought into anything anymore that this sort of thing happens. This Dahmer tattoo is very minimalistic. It just says, let's have lunch. It's on someone's leg below short length. So I don't know why these people are getting Jeffrey Dahmer tattoos in places that are hard to hide. Like, really? If you had to get a Jeffrey Dahmer tattoo, wouldn't you try to put it somewhere where, like, you can hide it easily? What is happening here? Guys, this is kind of a smooth brain moment, not gonna lie. Everybody, if you made it this far, please comment smooth brain. For some reason, imagining a comment section full of just people saying smooth brain, it puts a smile on my face. This is a cartoony Jeffrey Dahmer. It's not the greatest tattoo technically I've ever seen. They're wearing pants, so they specifically reveal the most identifying factors of Jeffrey Dahmer. I see his face, and then I see beat them, eat them. And then one of the ugliest tattoos I've seen in a while is this one. This is the worst tattoo I've ever seen. It's so bad. It's the blood. The blood is so bad. My girlfriend brought up the fact that it looks like the tip of his drill going into someone's arm. The entry point doesn't even, like, there's no darker red around it. There's nothing to show that it even exists. It's just like a long black strip sitting on top of a really bad red background. Graphic design is my passion. You may have seen these tattoos and you want your eyes to just disappear, like you are praying for some sort of crab god to come down from the sky, reach out his claw to you and say, I will take your eyes for you. I will gladly eat those things for you. For just one like and notification bell, the crab god will give you a discount of $1.50 to eat your eyeballs out. It's a deal of a lifetime, guys. You don't want to miss it. Now, the next tattoo, the final tattoo that we're going to be looking at is Jeffrey Dahmer. Basically, it's no drama llama, and it's Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, I don't know. I think this is like the worst one because look, this is the mug shot, and then this is the tattoo. It's so recognizably Jeffrey Dahmer, and it's also a horrible joke. It's beyond me. It's beyond understanding. Now, instead of getting a tattoo, you could get some interesting Dahmer paraphernalia. It's still a bad decision, but at least it isn't permanent. Here are 2 mugs, very distasteful. It says, I like my men, like my coffee, ground up. This one says, you're cute, I could just eat you up. And both of them are just the really bad cutout of Dahmer's neck and head. Like, I don't know why they cut it off there. It's really weird. They cut around the shirt he was wearing. They just have his neck and head. Imagine, like, I'm just envisioning going over to someone's house, asking for a drink of water, and this is what I get. At that point, I'd rather drink from a menstrual cup than drink water from a Jeffrey Dahmer cup. I don't care. I'm not resorting to that point. No one come test this out in person. I really don't want to have to drink from a menstrual cup, but I'm just saying I'm a person of my word. So to go with the cups, you could get this set of $60 serial killer coasters, and I feel like it almost belongs on r/delusional artist because I don't mean to be rude, but I'm not very good with scissors, but I could do a better job cutting out something than that. It's just really bad photos and really bad cutting quality just stuck in these coasters. It's $15 for that. How many other better ways could you spend $15? Think about all the Robux you could buy for $15. Think about it, you could buy a Minecraft server rank. You could waste a bunch of money on DLC. You could buy some gamer girl bathwater. Like, the sky is the limits on what you could spend $15 on. But not this, guys. I won't allow it. You can't, not this. No. Here there's also some Valentine's cards. We're just after Valentine's Day, but here they are for next year in case you want to look at them. It takes guts to ask you to be my Valentine. Good thing I have some in my freezer. Jeez. Here's a better Valentine card, but the most alarming thing is the fact that 4 people have this in their cart. I took this screenshot just before Valentine's Day, and 4 people were about to buy this thing. 4 people. Like, I know that seems like hardly anybody, but think about the fact that this is just one obscure Valentine card that I had to search for this video, and there's 4 people who are already looking at buying this thing. And then here's a happy birthday card where the inside is just a bunch of stock photos combined together, and for some reason the cake says birthday happy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the moment you've all been waiting for. It is time for the flower crown image of the video. Basically, every single video I've made about people who like serial killers, there's been a flower crown in it. It doesn't stop. It's everywhere. When I see flower crowns nowadays, I do not associate it with positivity. I don't associate it with anything cute. I now just envision I just now envision the most vile people wearing it. That's just how it's become for me. So here you go, guys. Here's another thing to destroy your perception of flower crowns. It says man-eater. It's a sticker you can get off of Redbubble, I think, because Redbubble be like that, I guess. It's probably stolen art, honestly. On accident, I found one of the more disturbing things you could purchase, and it's actually not directly related to Jeffrey Dahmer. It's more so related to true crime as a whole. But it's really disturbing the marketing strategy that the seller is taking to increase sales for this item. It's called the Behind the Tape photo book, and how I found this thing was I went to a website to do some more Jeffrey Dahmer research. I wanted to see what these Polaroids looked like. I thought they'd be censored. I don't know why I thought that. I was searching up the Polaroids. They were not censored. They were very graphic. I don't mean to make this situation less realistic, but the best way I could describe one of the images I came across was similar to like a Glory, Kill, and Doom in terms of graphic nature. Just someone's torso was completely dismembered. It was very brutal imagery. And I don't think any victim should ever have to be seen that way. I don't think that the victim's images should be up there for the public to just see like that. I don't think that's how these people should be remembered, in their dismembered, brutal state. I think it's quite sickening. But on this website, it says, a rare photo collection featuring never-before-seen published Polaroids taken by cannibalistic homosexual serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. And then it says, this photo gallery originally appeared in Behind the Tape photo book, featuring hundreds of exclusive crime scene photos, such as a spine-chilling tour through Ted Bundy's Issaquah dump site, as well as 24 unseen high-quality photos from Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment. And it says, warning, the photo book isn't for the faint of heart. For one thing, these photos didn't originally appear in this book because they were first acquired by the police from Dahmer's apartment. I'm sure they went through multiple sources before getting to this book. And then also, can we just talk about how this website is trying to make a profit off of a photo book of, you know, victims' dead bodies? Let's see, what am I seeing here? I'm seeing a dismembered torso, no skin on it, very bloody. I can see inside the rib cage right now, and then someone with their hand severed, their head severed, and then their genitalia severed. This photo book has those photos, and they're trying to profit off of horribly gruesome deaths. I just find it really disrespectful. It's more disrespectful than throwing a flower crown on Jeffrey Dahmer. When you put a flower crown on Jeffrey Dahmer, you don't see the state of these victims. You don't see what he did to them. You just see the man's face. This photo book, it's profiting off of these horrible images that are within the book. You can clearly see the brutality and the extent of the crimes, and they're still trying to profit off of it. It's really disgusting. Anyway, time to get into something that's not necessarily more lighthearted, but it's less, it's fan art, okay guys? It's fan art. Yeah, this is Jeffrey Dahmer and Dennis Nielsen, and it's ship art. Some people thought that Dennis Nielsen was Ted Bundy here, but the artist very specifically stated that it was Dennis Nielsen. And Nielsen and Dahmer do share some similarities with their crimes. So if you were to see these people as fictional characters and not real people who existed, I suppose I could see how you could put them together. But they're not fictional people, they are real people who murdered in horrible ways. And someone commented underneath this post, "Your style is so slick and gorgeous. I've been more of a Jeff X Ted shipper myself, but I can swing this. Any which way, this pic is amazing and you should feel amazing. Thanks tons for making and sharing it." The artist is very talented. I just have questions as to why they would make this. It's sickening, but it's also sickening to see the person's comment who's saying, "I've been more of a, you know, Jeff X Ted shipper," as if it's just something that this person puts thought into, like they're fictional characters. Imagine a shipping war breaks out in the true crime community over Jeffrey Dahmer. That's to the extent of like the Voltron fandom or something. It's crazy. Here is cutesy wootsy little Dahmer being a boy. He's a small boy. Look, keep me company. Oh shit, don't look in that box, Dad. Who needs water when you can drink booze? If I eat you, you will be with me forever. Cuddle with me. I built you a shrine. I don't think that's supposed to be hot, but it sure is. To the fridge you go. Stop! Stop it! Get some help. Look at all the hearts. Look at all the hearts in the background. This is horrible. He's holding the drill. God help us, he's holding the drill. He has hearts in his eyes, and he's holding the hands. He's holding the hand of one of his victims. So that's just one post. Here we have an account that's dedicated to making Jeffrey Dahmer comics in this art style. And I'm only gonna show some here, but just know that some of these are sexually suggestive. Like, there's one where Dahmer's watching TV and he's like, "Oh crap, I better go relieve myself." It's not shown in the comic, but it's very much so implied. So this person very much so sexualizes Dahmer in some of their work. And just in general, they make him look like a little trembling, blushy, stuttering boy. Look, wow, you give some good advice. I'd say you have quite a good head on your shoulders. I meant, baka. Jeff, it's only a phrase. Don't think that I'm taking it literally. Like, he's blushing and trembling. Oh yeah, that's definitely the image of Jeffrey Dahmer that he sent. And then here it says, "Are you gonna spank me?" to Dahmer. Like, I don't get what the whole spank me daddy culture is with Dahmer. He's not a spank me daddy kind of guy. He's more so like he's gonna drill a hole into your skull and kill you. Here's another thing that's supposed to be Jeffrey Dahmer apparently, and it says small cannibal boy. Yup, small cannibal boy. A lot of the times, you know, in my videos I'd like to say, "Oh my god guys, they see them as small soft boys, ooh woo," but I mean this person just said it right there. This does not even radiate small boy energy. What absolute crack are they on? This artist right here makes me really, really sad, to be honest. Their art looks cute, but clearly it's not that cute because we have the ultimate crossover with my content. We have Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, and then we have the Columbine shooters. It's not good, but their art is cute, so I decided to see if this is all they draw. They predominantly draw serial killers or shooters from when I went through their account, and then I went down their account enough, and I saw they drew Edie Kemper. Now, some of you watching this, I know that I have some people who are into true crime in my audience, or some people who just know a thing or two about some murderers. And here we have Edie Kemper. So those of you who know, you already know this is horrible. But for those of you who don't, Edie Kemper, well, what he's holding in this image is his mother's head. And what he did with his mother's head was, okay guys, I don't know how to say this, cause some people are sensitive to the R word, and YouTube is sensitive to the F word. He used his mother's head as a device to relieve himself, but it was violent, you know, it was a very horrible thing he did with his mother's head. And then after he was done, he turned it into a dartboard. You know, his own mother's head. And in this image, he's holding his mom's head, and he's got like little red drool coming down from his mouth. Like, I know it's blood, but it's shaped like drool. It's shaped like in a suggestive way. It's just horrible. Also, I know there's a lot of things to criticize about the fact that this person would draw Edie Kemper like this and that they would do this, but I also just want to talk about how nubby the arms look. Like, it has 3 fingers. Here's some furry art. If you are a furry watching this, I am not criticizing you or saying that all furries draw Jeffrey Dahmer. If that was the case, people would hate on the furry fandom for a much different reason. Here are some, you know, furry drawings of Jeffrey Dahmer, because it seems like the Jeffrey Dahmer fans are everywhere. They're in every walk of life. Here is a comic that, honestly, guys, I don't know what to say. I can't just say, guys, that's bad to everything, because obviously you have eyeballs. But this, I don't know what to say about this. It's obviously suggesting the whole living zombie thing that Jeffrey Dahmer tried doing with the whole acid and the drill. But it's a fursona. The art is bad. The emotional tone is inconsistent throughout the piece. It's inaccurate, but it's just disturbing in all sorts of ways. I don't know what to say about this. Just look at it, understand it exists, and we can move on. Here's like a sketchbook edit. Let's just read this. Bundy, babe, forever, murder me, please. Dream boys. He's so groovy. I was born in the wrong generation. Jeffrey Dahmer was a sensitive king. My God. It's horrible. And then below it, it says, not looking forward to this conversation with my daughter. Whatever the hell that means. The next image we have here is a Jeffrey Dahmer shrine someone made. This is just not very epic. This is something someone stitched that says you bring out the inner serial killer in me. I'm not gonna put much thought into that. I don't want to. Here are some edits because in every single video we talk about this. Here's Dahmer. It says, honey, he's gay. There's a community on Tumblr that really fetishizes gay men, and that somehow creeped into the Jeffrey Dahmer fandom. Like, a lot of people obsess over the fact that he was a gay boy. He was not a little gay boy. He was a homosexual, but not like, ooh, a little soft gay boy. No. There's also, it says, a heart that says, don't touch me. I have to agree with that. I do not want Jeffrey Dahmer touching me. This says, I'm the angel of darkness. I'll leave you dead and unconscious. Are you lonely? So deep, so edgy. Where does it start? Could you control it? Again, very deep and edgy. Here it says Jeffrey Dahmer aesthetic. I'm glad the person said it, not me. He's obviously just being used as an aesthetic tool at this point rather than a real person who committed horrible crimes. This is another pic collage edit, I think. It says be mine. This has to be pic collage. I don't know what it is with these people using pic collage, but I'm pretty sure these are the stickers that come with the app. This Jeffrey Dahmer edit has flower crowns everywhere. It says I broke 1 million hearts just for fun. I think he did more than that, and I'm pretty sure it was not for fun. But that's just my idea, right? That's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Hold up. I'm looking at this one right here. It says, you look so perfect, okay? Good vibes. Jeffrey Dahmer's in a flower crown. But why the hell is Pasheen in the image? Pasheen, what are you doing here? Get out of here. It's not safe. Run. This is Monarch Butterfly Dahmer, and the person who posted this they're a very new account, okay? They might be satire because they're so new. I don't know their background properly. But their bio is Daddy Dahmer Fan account for Daddy Dahmer, feel free to message us your cannibalistic stories. Why? He's not a daddy. He's not. I feel like a lot of the people who idolize Dahmer too are girls, and not only would you be completely screwed if he was interested in you, but he also would just never be interested in you because he was homosexual. So let's just look at a couple text posts here. So here's something that someone posted. They said, I know this is controversial, but you can be interested in serial killer documentaries / cases and not want to sleep with said serial killers. Also, I don't know why the Ted Bundy stans and Charles Manson stans are arguing, but they're both horrible people who deserve to die. Neither of them should have fangirls, frankly. In short, please don't lust after real-life serial killers or cult leaders. It's really gross and disrespectful to their victims. Someone replied, not to be controversial, actually totally to be controversial, lol, but their victims are dead. I don't think they mind. Could you guys imagine being that ignorant and disrespectful? God. Someone said, I'm screaming, pre-prison Dahmer was so hot. Then in their next post, it's like, low-key prison Dahmer was fine as hell too. But yeah, it's crazy that they make a difference. Like, they make a disconnect between the two states of Dahmer because he just looks so crazy different. Low-key think Jeffrey Dahmer had an adorable side. Their tags are, someone kill me, I'm trash, and Dahmer. Another post says, happy birthday, Jeffrey Dahmer. And then another post says, I get really sad when I think about the fact that Jeff is dead. But not the victims. I mean, I'm absolutely heartbroken when I was researching this video. It was really hard for me to make this one because I had to do a lot of research into the crimes. And I felt heartbroken. I felt really sad, especially with the 14-year-old who could have gotten out of the situation. So let me just tell you about 14-year-old Conorak here. He was one of the living zombie victims. Conorak did have some acid poured into his skull, and he managed to get out of Dahmer's apartment, and 2 women found Conorak after he escaped Dahmer's apartment. And Conorak was bleeding. He was naked, and he seemed like he was heavily under the influence. So these 2 girls who found him, they called 911, and the police came, and Dahmer also happened to arrive at the same time, and the police basically returned Conorak back into the custody of Dahmer under the excuse that Dahmer said the boy was 19 and his boyfriend. So the police just said, all right, 14-year-old boy who's bleeding and clearly drunk or something's wrong, you may go back with Jeffrey Dahmer. Conorak died because more acid was poured into his skull. It was a horrible way to go because Conorak could have made it out of the situation, but he didn't due to police incompetency. And, you know, I think that death is really sad. When you look at this boy's smile, you just know that he had a bright future ahead of him. And that makes me really sad. I don't get why people are saying, you know, I get really sad when I think about the fact that Jeff is dead. I get really sad when I think about his victims. Alright, we're gonna finish this video off with Jeffrey Dahmer and Richard Ramirez in makeup because someone thought that was genius. I just want to thank you guys for your support and sticking around for this channel and watching through the video. Also, really want to thank my patrons for all of their support, and I'd also love to thank the amazing fan artists. Look at this, it's so, like, wow. I'm really pleased. Like, it makes me happy, guys. The fan art really is a breath of fresh air from what I just had to sit through. It's very nice. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Oh, every night is like a daze, but oh, I'm feeling crazy as I know I'm running late. Let's wait just one more day. I know I'm running away from moments. What am I becoming? I get something